The cameras rolled, lights blazed, and the familiar upbeat tune of Lorraine filled the studio. What was supposed to be another lighthearted morning chat turned into one of the most talked about live TV moments of the year. Jennifer Lopez, radiant, confident, and promoting her new album, took her seat across from the ever-charming Lorraine Kelly. But beneath the polite smiles, tension was already brewing. Lorraine began with her usual warm introduction. "Jennifer, you look absolutely stunning, as always. Tell us about this new project. It's been described as your most personal work yet." Jennifer smiled, nodding. "Thank you, Lorraine. Yes, it's very personal. It's about love, growth, and what it means to keep believing in yourself, even when the world keeps trying to define you." The audience applauded. It was smooth sailing, at least for the first few minutes. But Lorraine, known for her candid approach, shifted gears. "Jennifer," she said with a disarming tone, "you've built a career on being a powerhouse, singer, actress, businesswoman. But some critics say your recent work feels more like a brand than art. How do you respond to that?" Lo's smile stiffened. "I think people always have something to say," she replied carefully. "But I've always been true to myself. My art comes from my life, my experiences, my heart. I'm not here to please everyone." Lorraine nodded but pressed on. Of course. But when your fans see so many different sides of you, the performer, the entrepreneur, the influencer, some say it's hard to tell which Jennifer is the real one. What would you say to that?" The temperature in the studio seemed to rise. Jennifer leaned forward slightly, her tone sharpening. "Lorraine, the real Jennifer is the one sitting right here. I don't perform who I am, I live it. Every version of me is real." There was a faint murmur from the audience. Lorraine, perhaps sensing she'd touched a nerve, tried to steer things back to neutral territory. "I completely understand," she said. "It's just, you've had such a fascinating journey, from the Bronx to global superstardom. But surely fame changes a person a little." Jennifer's eyes narrowed. "You know, I get asked that a lot, mostly by people who don't know what it's like to work their way up from nothing. Fame doesn't change you, it exposes who you really are. I'm still the same woman who hustled every day to get here." Lorraine gave a polite laugh, but the tension was unmistakable. Of course. I think the viewers just want to understand who you are beneath all the glitz. It's not criticism, it's curiosity." Jennifer crossed her arms. "Well, sometimes curiosity can come off as judgment." The silence that followed was heavy. Lorraine blinked, taken aback, then smiled tightly. "That's fair. But this is Lorraine, Jennifer, we're all friends here." The audience laughed nervously, but Jennifer didn't. "Friends don't question your authenticity on live TV," she said flatly. Behind the cameras, producers exchanged anxious glances. Lorraine, still the consummate professional, tried to lighten the mood again. "All right then, let's talk about love, Ben Affleck. Everyone wants to know how things are between you two." Jennifer sighed. "Lorraine, I came here to talk about my album, not to rehash my personal life." The host's smile faltered. "Of course, but your fans." "My fans," Jennifer interrupted, "already know the music is my personal life." There it was, the spark that set the room ablaze. Lorraine attempted to pivot, but Jennifer was visibly done with the conversation. The atmosphere had shifted entirely from glitz to grit. "I think," Jennifer said, removing her microphone, "we're finished here." Lorraine looked stunned. "Jennifer, please, this isn't." But it was too late. Jennifer Lopez stood, straightened her blazer, and turned to the audience. "Thank you for having me," she said curtly before walking off the set. Gasps echoed through the studio. Lorraine sat frozen for a moment, then forced a chuckle. "Well, that was Jennifer Lopez, everyone." The credits rolled early. Within minutes, clips of the confrontation flooded social media. #JLo on Lorraine began trending on X, formerly Twitter. Fans were divided. Some accused Lorraine of being disrespectful, while others said Jennifer had overreacted. Memes appeared almost instantly, pairing Jennifer's glare with captions like, "When someone calls you fake before your morning coffee." By the afternoon, both camps were issuing subtle responses. Lorraine's team released a brief statement. Greater than, Lorraine Kelly has immense respect for Jennifer Lopez and wishes her continued success. The interview became emotional, but such is the nature of live television. Jennifer's publicist, however, didn't hold back. Greater than, Jennifer Lopez believes in authenticity and mutual respect. She will always stand up for herself, especially when her integrity is questioned. Evening talk shows dissected every frame of the encounter. Body language experts claimed Jennifer's reaction showed years of pent-up frustration. Others argued Lorraine was simply doing her job as a journalist. But behind the headlines, insiders whispered that Jennifer had been under immense pressure, juggling rehearsals, media appearances, and a demanding tour schedule. "She's exhausted," one source said. That interview was the last straw. By nightfall, Lorraine herself addressed the incident on her social media. Greater than, no hard feelings toward Jennifer. "She's a passionate woman, that's why we love her." Fans appreciated the grace in Lorraine's response, but the question lingered: had the clash revealed a side of Jennifer the world wasn't meant to see? For now, neither side sought reconciliation. But as one journalist put it the next morning, the morning after the explosive live interview, the world was still buzzing. Every major entertainment outlet replayed the clip of Jennifer Lopez walking off Lorraine's set. Breakfast shows, podcasts, and tabloids picked apart every word, every glare, every pause. Lorraine Kelly arrived at the ITV studio early that day, her face calm but her phone constantly buzzing with messages. Her producer, Martin, walked beside her, carrying a cup of coffee. "Are we still on for the follow-up statement?" he asked. Lorraine sighed. "We'll address it lightly. No drama. I don't want this turning into a war." "Too late," Martin muttered, showing her the latest headlines. Lorraine humiliates J.Lo on live TV. Jennifer Lopez storms off British talk show in tears. Is Lorraine Kelly losing her touch? Lorraine closed her eyes briefly. She'd been in television for over 3 decades, she'd handled tougher guests, sharper tempers, and far more unpredictable interviews. But something about this one felt different. The world adored Jennifer, and Lorraine suddenly found herself painted as the villain. Meanwhile, across London, Jennifer Lopez was pacing her hotel suite, her assistant clutching a phone. "Jennifer, social media's going wild," she said nervously. "Half the people are defending you, but the others are saying you overreacted." Jennifer stopped, took a deep breath, and sat down by the window. "I didn't overreact," she said quietly. "I just refused to let someone question my worth, not again." Her assistant nodded, though uncertainly. "Ben called," she added hesitantly. "He said maybe it's time to clear the air. People are turning it into something bigger than it is." Jennifer looked out at the cloudy London skyline. "He's right," she murmured. "But not today. Not until I've thought this through." By midday, the controversy had reached the U.S. morning shows. Good Morning America aired the clip under the headline, J.Lo vs. Lorraine, Clash of the Queens. Commentators debated whether Lorraine had been rude or simply professional. Some accused Jennifer of being diva-like, while others praised her for setting boundaries. Lorraine, meanwhile, opened her next day's show with grace. Smiling at the camera, she said, "Now, before we begin, I just want to address what happened yesterday. Jennifer Lopez is an incredible artist, passionate, hardworking, and emotional about her craft. Things got a bit heated, but that's live television for you. We wish her all the best." The studio audience applauded. It was brief, measured, and elegant, pure Lorraine. But Jennifer's fans weren't satisfied. They demanded an apology from the show, claiming Lorraine had been patronizing. Petitions appeared online. A hashtag #RespectJLo, started trending globally. By evening, even celebrities were weighing in. American talk show host Ellen DeGeneres posted, "Sometimes emotions speak louder than words. Sending love to J.Lo and Lorraine, 2 strong women, one wild moment. It seemed the world couldn't let it go." 3 days later, Jennifer's team arranged a surprise press appearance at a charity gala in London. Reporters were told she wouldn't answer questions, but Jennifer had other plans. Wearing a sleek white gown and a calm expression, she took the microphone after presenting a donation. "There's something I want to say," she began. The crowd fell silent. "This past week, there's been a lot of talk about what happened on Lorraine. I want to make something clear, I have great respect for Lorraine Kelly. We both said things in the heat of the moment, but I've learned that sometimes the strongest thing you can do is listen." Gasps rippled through the room. Cameras flashed. Jennifer smiled softly and added, "I let my emotions get the better of me. I'm human. And Lorraine, if you're watching, I hope we can talk again, this time off camera. The next morning, Lorraine's team played that clip on her show. Lorraine smiled, visibly touched. That was very gracious of Jennifer, she said. Of course, I'd love to chat anytime, maybe without the bright lights and coffee cups. The audience laughed warmly, and applause filled the studio. Later that day, Lorraine's producer received an unexpected call. Jennifer Lopez herself wanted to appear on Lorraine again, this time for a taped interview. No studio audience, no live broadcast, just two women sitting down to talk. When the day came, the atmosphere was completely different. Lorraine greeted Jennifer with a genuine hug. The tension that had once filled the air was gone. Lorraine began softly, "It's good to see you again." Jennifer smiled. "It's good to be here, for real, this time." They spoke openly about fame, vulnerability, and how women in the public eye are often forced to defend every part of themselves. Jennifer admitted, "I've spent years proving I'm more than a headline. That day, I just hit my limit. But I also realized, people like you, Lorraine, you're doing your job. I respect that." Lorraine's eyes glistened slightly. "And I respect you, Jennifer. You've built something extraordinary, and you've done it your way." When the interview aired the following week, it broke viewership records. Millions tuned in, not to witness a fight, but to see two women find understanding. Social media flooded with praise. Greater than, "Real queens fix their crowns together." Lorraine and J.Lo, what a masterclass in grace. As the credits rolled, Lorraine turned to the camera with a final remark. "You know, sometimes the hardest conversations are the ones that make us grow. And that's what happened here." Jennifer Lopez smiled, looking relaxed and radiant. "That's the realest thing I've heard all week." The two shared a laugh, genuine this time, as the screen faded to black. The clash that once divided fans had transformed into a story of humility, strength, and mutual respect. And as Lorraine later joked in an interview,